I'm going to show you that identity politics are failing. I mean, they are absolutely just imploding in on themselves, you know, and it's the left's fault. The left split people into too many groups, too many subsets, too many protected classes. And people have just had enough, man. And you got to feel bad for people. You especially got to feel bad for especially the gay, indigenous, African-American, musically inclined, non-denominational, super binary, they, them type people. They don't know what freaking group they fit in anymore. And everybody's confused. Everybody's almost as confused as those people. And this is what unity now looks like in the Democrat Party. You got white guys for Kamala, black girls for Kamala, comedians for Kamala. They don't care. You got to be for Kamala, but you got to do it in your own little group. That is unity in the modern day Democrat Party. And this is why diversity politics are failing. And they're failing almost as fast as Don Lemon is failing. And in this amazing clip, you get to watch them fail together.
How are you feeling about the election?
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to make us vote for the black person.
I voted for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
I don't vote.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, I saw the other side of it.
I'm supporting Trump.
You are. Because?
Because it has to change.
Yeah.
It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she phony and fake, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm like Trump saying, what are you, So I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it, I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like her the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high. I'm going for Trump.
Poor Don Lemon, man. I mean, he's relegated himself from CNN primetime to berating ladies on the morning show to now doing man on the street type content like some millennial TikToker. I mean, I almost feel bad for Don Lemon because, now here he is, right? After all his efforts, all of his propagandizing, all of his gaslighting, and all these people that he thinks should think just like him or just like he told them to, more accurately, because of the way they look, all those people now support Donald Trump. And it's pretty remarkable when you think of it, man. It's got to be interesting to be inside the head of a Don Lemon, just flabbergasted that people that look like him don't think like him, right? And it's not just one. It's an uncountable number. And the guy, he's got to be shell-shocked, man. And he's not the only one. Jen Psaki was so shell-shocked that she had to bring him on back into the fold on propaganda TV.
Ask you about your trip traveling across the country, because you were traveling across the country on the way to Chicago where you were, and we'll talk about that too. You interviewed a lot of people.
I did.
What are some of the things or trends that surprised you about some of those conversations?
Well, I don't know if it was surprising, but it was certainly eye-opening to hear so many people, even people of color and women, saying that they are going to support Donald Trump. I'm not quite sure that the polls are accurate as it relates to the tightening of the polls and who's going to support whom. Right-wing media, when I released my content, they said, oh, Don Lemon was shocked or Don Lemon was surprised at the answers that he got. But there were a lot of black men, Jen, who said that they were supporting Donald Trump simply because he gave them a stimulus check. He gave them $1,200 back when he was president. They did not somehow remember that the current president also gave them a stimulus check, except that his name wasn't on it. So I had to remind them time after time that the check did not come from Donald Trump, that it came from a Democratic Congress, and he actually slowed it up in order to have his name on the check. So when they got the check and his name was on it, they automatically thought that it came directly from Donald Trump, which I think is good marketing. It's the same as he does for buildings around the country, especially in New York. He doesn't actually own them, but he puts his name on them, and it makes people think that he owns them, and it actually makes them think that he is richer and bigger and more benevolent than he is.
Was there anything, what did they think about Harris? Did they have anything to say about her?
They did have, listen, It depends on where you are. We went to a number of different battleground states in Pennsylvania, Ohio. We were in Michigan, Indiana, on our way, obviously, Illinois, on our way to Chicago. And it sort of depended on where you were. Pennsylvania, well, I shouldn't say Pennsylvania, I should say Philadelphia, was a bit more liberal, and the answers to the questions about her and him were quite different. But for the most part, in Pittsburgh or at the Jersey Shore and in Atlantic City, in Ohio especially, many people did not know who she was. Right? They weren't familiar with her. So I think she has to reintroduce herself to the public. But for him, I think that they thought that he's better for the economy. And that, again, that he brought money into the community or that he was on black people's side. And so, listen, I wasn't surprised by that. I've been doing this long enough to know that you never know where people are going to fall, how they're going to vote. That's their own personal prerogative. But I think it's important for them to understand and to go into the voting booth with some knowledge, that they're informed as an electorate. And for all the reasons that they were telling me, the information was all false.
That's pretty damn funny when you think about it, man. Think about what Don Lemon just said. He tried to pretend like he wasn't, a dyed-in-the-wool propagandist. He tried to pretend like he doesn't actually have a dog in the fight. He says he's been doing this long enough to know that you never know where people are at or how they're going to vote. It's their prerogative, he says. I just want them to know as they go to the polls that everything they believe is a lie. I mean, that's essentially what he said. It's like, dude, what a freaking clown. I mean, Don Lemon, man. I mean, people believe that the economy was better under Trump because it was. People believe that the border was more secure under Trump because it was. People believe that they were safer at home and abroad under Trump, and they were, man. People believe that 13 service members wouldn't have been killed in Afghanistan and millions of women and girls enslaved under Trump. And guess what? They're right about that too. But Don Lemon just thinks that these people are stupid or uninformed, is his nice way to put it. And here's the thing, man. If people are uninformed, it's probably because their candidate is in hiding. But he'll never be able to put that together, right? And I'll keep going, guys. But if you enjoy this kind of content, man, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. It really does go a long way to helping the channel grow, and I really appreciate it.
And they didn't understand the correct reasons why they might vote for him.
Yeah, it's a reminder. I mean, you've called Donald Trump a racist on television. You're talking to all these people out there. You still feel that way?
Yes, I think I was the first person to finally say it, and I think I was the first person to say that he was lying because people were afraid to say it. And I said, why don't we just call it what it is? Why don't we call it a lie? Why don't we call it racism? And I wasn't just saying it because it was an opinion. Anytime I said something like that on television, I backed it up with facts, and I gave people examples of the reasons that I was saying those things. Of course, I think he's racist. All you have to do is look at his rhetoric. All you have to do is look at his track record.
Honestly, man, I almost don't even get upset when I hear Don Lemon speak, right? I mean, honestly, I think there are two kinds of propagandist tools, really, that keep the radical left kind of on track, kind of going the way they're going. They're the people that actually know that everything they say is a complete and total lie, but they have their motives, they have their reasons, they have their pay plan, right? And they have a plan. Those are the George Stephanopoulos of the world, the Jake Tappers, the Jen Psakis, those kind of people, right? They've actually seen behind the curtain. They know the truth, but they also know that the truth doesn't actually help their cause. So they're propagandists. That's what they do. You have those people. And then you have the true, useful idiots, the Joy Reids, the Don Lemons, basically the entire cast of The View. These people actually believe the insane things that they say. It's literally the brainwashed doing the brainwashing. And it's scary stuff when you think about it. Don Lemon just said, Donald Trump is racist, and it's not opinion. I know he's racist from his rhetoric and his track record, but I promise you he couldn't actually illustrate that. And what's even worse than actually, believing something he can't explain and then telling people it's not an opinion, but he then supports a guy who was an actual lifelong racist and segregationist in Joe Biden without even question, right? And like I said, man, I don't even get mad when I hear Don Lemon. I pity Don Lemon.
And anyone can see that. Go on.
No, keep going.
So, I mean, anyone can see that. And so I don't think that was odd or something that was bold. Yeah, so I do think that he's racist. Is it surprising to me that so many African Americans are supporting him? A bit, but I also think that people tend to romanticize the past. And even though by most metrics, the economy is doing better and it's on fire, what people do is they vote with prices. They vote with their wallet. So maybe the economy is better. Both can be true. The economy can be better, but prices are higher and people have less money and they have less resources to put towards those high prices and to feed their families. So
this is why I feel bad for the poor guy, man. He believes the economy is better. It's on fire, he says. He believes that the economy is on fire. You know, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they promised an economy that worked from the bottom up and middle out. Still don't know what that means, but that's what they promised. And Don Lemon believes that they've delivered, right? But somehow, at the same time, it also makes sense to him that in this on-fire economy, people have less money. They have less resources to put towards feeding their families. His exact words. What the hell is this dude even talking about? I mean, is he confused or just, honestly, an elitist with no empathy? I don't know, but I don't know how you can have an on-fire economy, but people can't feed their families, right? And it's a lot of people. And then to turn around and blame those people for romanticizing a time that they could actually feed their family, it just doesn't make any sense, man.
You know, we talk a lot about low information voters. I like to call them low partisan information voters because many of the people I spoke to were not sitting in front of a television every single day and every single night, following every micro breaking news development about Donald Trump and about what's happening in politics. But they were quite aware of what they were doing for their families, how much or how little money they had in their pockets. And I think that they vote on that and not necessarily, what they see on television. As a matter of fact, Jen, I was surprised. I asked people where they got their news from, how did they keep informed?
If we're hearing Don Lemon correctly, the people who are not brainwashing themselves by watching CNN or MSNBC every single night are just dumb. They're just low information voters. And if they would just tune in and let these people tell them why they hate Donald Trump so much and really why they should also hate Donald Trump so much, then they probably wouldn't even like the guy. If they knew what a bad guy Don Lemon says he is, it probably wouldn't even matter that they associate Donald Trump with being able to feed their freaking family, right? Don Lemon says the problem is we need more propaganda. I mean, it's insane, man. It actually makes my brain hurt like hell to watch these things, man. And if it hurts your brain too, man, I sincerely am sorry about sitting you through it, but I figured you'd want to see this stuff. That's all I got, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.